Episode 10, The Parent Factor, How Families Can Make or Break a Soccer Journey. Welcome back to the 90-Minute Mind, the podcast where we explore the game beyond the scoreline, where technique, mindset, and environment all come together to shape a player's journey. Today, we're looking at a factor that's often underestimated, yet might be the single most powerful influence on a young player's success: the role of the family. Coaches can guide, teammates can inspire, and talent can set the stage, but what happens at home often decides how far that journey goes. We'll explore how small everyday choices, from the way parents talk after a match, to the expectations they set, to the quiet lessons in resilience, can either fuel a player's growth or quietly erode their love for the game. We'll break down the ways families can create a supportive environment that allows young athletes to flourish and the common mistakes that can unintentionally hold them back. Whether you're a parent, a coach, or a player yourself, this episode will challenge you to see soccer development in a new way, not just as a sport to be trained, but as a journey that's built with the people who walk alongside you.
Every soccer journey begins with a spark. Maybe it's a child kicking a ball around in the backyard. Maybe it's watching a World Cup match on TV. Or maybe it's joining that first community team with a shirt that's way too big. But before the coach, before the drills, before the trophies or the heartbreaks, there's almost always a parent standing on the sidelines, literally or figuratively, making decisions that will shape what comes next. The truth is, parents are the first gatekeepers of opportunity. They decide if a child plays soccer at all. They choose the club, the coach, the level of commitment. They buy the gear, drive to training, pay the fees. They set the tone. And in doing so, they can either open the door for growth or unintentionally close it. When a parent gets it right, their role becomes a foundation for success. They provide balance between encouragement and independence. They create a safe space for mistakes, knowing that failure is just part of learning. They help their child develop resilience, not by removing challenges, but by guiding them through them. They support the coach while trusting the process, even when the short-term results aren't obvious. But when a parent gets it wrong, often with the best intentions, it can derail development in ways that are hard to see until years later. The most common mistake is turning the game into a constant performance review. A car ride home that's meant to be quiet and decompressing becomes a 20-minute breakdown of what the child did wrong. Suddenly, soccer becomes stressful, and the joy that started it all fades away. Pressure from parents can take many forms. Sometimes it's subtle, like disappointment when a child doesn't make the A team. Other times it's loud and public, like yelling instructions from the sideline or questioning the coach in front of the player. Either way, the message a young player hears is clear. Your worth is tied to your results. And that's dangerous. Kids don't just need support, they need perspective. Soccer is a long game, not just in minutes on the field, but in years of growth. The player who struggles at 10 could dominate at 16 if given the right development environment. But if a parent loses patience too early, switching teams every season, chasing trophies instead of growth, they rob their child of the chance to build the skills that really matter. There's also the reality of comparison. Parents sometimes measure their child's progress against others, teammates, cousins, or kids from rival clubs. But soccer development is not a race, and growth is rarely linear. Some players bloom early, others much later. When parents constantly compare, it can lead to burnout, overtraining, or a loss of confidence that could have been avoided with a more patient approach. Support isn't just emotional, it's also logistical. Being a soccer parent means a lot of driving, early mornings, packing snacks, washing uniforms, and rearranging schedules. It's a commitment that affects the whole family. But here's the key. The child should feel gratitude for that support, not guilt. That's why it's important for parents to remind their kids that the sacrifices are a choice made out of love, not obligation. Money also plays a big role. Soccer can be expensive, especially at competitive levels. Parents often make huge financial sacrifices to provide opportunities. But when those sacrifices turn into unspoken expectations for results, we're spending all this money, so you'd better perform. The pressure skyrockets. A healthier approach is to frame the investment as an opportunity, not a debt the child owes through performance. The relationship between parent and coach is another critical factor. The best soccer journeys happen when parents and coaches work together, respecting each other's roles. The coach handles development on the field, the parent handles development off it. When parents overstep, questioning tactics, demanding more playing time, or criticizing coaching decisions, it creates confusion for the player. The child ends up caught between two voices, and instead of focusing on the game, they're focused on managing relationships. Parents can also shape how a child responds to adversity. Every player will face setbacks, not making a team, losing a final, sitting on the bench. These moments can either crush a young player or make them stronger. And how a parent reacts is often the deciding factor. If the parent sees failure as proof their child isn't good enough, the child will too. But if the parent frames it as part of the journey, a chance to learn, to work harder, to come back stronger, it can become one of the most powerful motivators. There's another layer that often gets overlooked: the emotional environment at home. Soccer is a small part of a child's life, but it's deeply connected to everything else. A household where communication is open, support is unconditional, and love isn't tied to performance gives a player the freedom to truly enjoy the game. They can take risks on the field because they know mistakes don't change how they're seen at home. On the flip side, when home becomes an extension of the soccer field, constant talk about the next game, criticism over small errors, endless replay of results, the game stops being a safe outlet. Instead of looking forward to training, the child starts to dread it. That's the beginning of burnout. Parents also set the standard for behavior. Kids watch how their parents act at games. If a parent shows respect for referees, coaches, and other players, the child learns to do the same. But if a parent shouts at officials or argues with other parents, it sends a message that poor sportsmanship is acceptable. And while talent might open doors in soccer, character determines how far a player will go. It's important to remember that soccer doesn't just build players, it builds people. The lessons of teamwork, discipline, dealing with pressure, and handling success and failure carry into every part of life. A parent's job isn't just to raise a good soccer player, but a well-rounded person who can navigate the world with confidence and humility. The best soccer parents understand that their child's journey is theirs alone. It's not about reliving the parent's own dreams or proving something to others. It's about giving the child space to grow, to make choices, and to find their own love for the game. That love is what will keep them playing long after youth soccer ends, whether they go pro, play in college, or just keep it as a lifelong passion. A supportive parent sees the bigger picture. They know that the goal isn't just to win this weekend's match, but to help their child build the mindset, skills, and values that will serve them for years to come. They know when to step in and when to step back. And they understand that the most powerful thing a parent can say after a game is often the simplest: "I love watching you play." In the end, the parent factor can make or break a soccer journey. Not because parents control the outcome, but because they create the environment in which the journey happens. And when that environment is built on patience, support, and unconditional belief, it gives a player the best possible chance to succeed, both in the game and in life.
And that wraps up today's episode of the 90-Minute Mind. Remember, a player's journey isn't just shaped on the pitch. It's built in the moments before and after training, in the car rides home, at the dinner table, and in the quiet encouragement that fuels the dream. Parents have the power to nurture or to derail that journey, and understanding that responsibility can make all the difference. Next time, we're switching gears for something special, a deep dive into one of football's most electrifying stars. In episode 11, we'll explore the story of Kylian Mbappé, from his early life and breakthrough moments to the mentality, speed, and skill that make him one of the most feared attackers in the game today. Until then, keep the passion alive, keep learning, and keep building your game one thoughtful step at a time.